Hey guys, Josh Roof here with Golden Ratio Content, and today we're going to be talking about how to never have writer's block again. This is a part of a series called the Minimalist Writing Tactics. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with a little bit of an outrageous claim, and that claim is this. It's my firm belief that writer's block is a myth. There's no such thing. You might ask yourself, well, then why do I get it? You know the feeling. Another words come, your brain is running like molasses, every distraction throws your train of thought into an entirely unrelated tangent that leads to nowhere. This single page, one single page is pushing 2 hours, your eyes are getting blurry. Worst of all, your brain keeps pulling you into a corner to wallop you with fears like your editor is going to kill you. No reader will take this seriously. Even if you get a foothold, you'll run out of time and never finish. Those thoughts and the actions or lack of actions that precede them would never be there if you knew the minimalist writing strategies that I do. Alright, so here's the crazy but honest truth. I have never had writer's block. Yes, this is what I do for a living, and yes, I write a minimum of 3,000 words per day, but it's not because I'm a better writer than anyone else. It's because I learned how to beat the myth of writer's block before I knew what it was. So what are the symptoms of writer's block? I'm sure definitions vary from writer to writer, but we can all agree on one thing, and that's simply this. Writer's block is when you can't come up with anything to write. And I know for a fact that this only happens when you let it. So the critical question isn't what is writer's block, but what are the symptoms that lead writers to believe that they have writer's block? An even more important question than that is how to solve each of these symptoms without never having the problem again. We'll get to that soon. Here's a few symptoms of my own. Nothing comes out, the words don't come, and the thoughts don't flow. Why? My eyes get blurry, squinting never helps, still no words. Lost motivation. Why is everything I write about so boring? Momentum puts and fizzles into a complete stall. And lastly, I get fat fingers. Every sentence I type calls for a pause to correct every other word with a red squiggle underneath it. This is very frustrating, to say the least. Alright, now we're about to get into the good stuff. Here's what you do when the thoughts just aren't coming. First, understand that you don't have anything blocking your words. If they're in there, they'll come easily, especially after a cup or two of coffee. The only reason you don't have the words flowing out of your brain and through your fingers is because you haven't done your research. It's also possible that you haven't picked a narrow enough topic to write on. Either way, if you follow these steps, you'll be golden. First, narrow down on the topic that you've chosen. Let your thoughts flow. Writing during this stage is pointless because you don't have enough material to write about. Next, research the topic. I'm not talking about pouring through book after book after book unless the project demands it. The key here is to find stuff that interests you. If I have to write about the merits of taking vitamins, I'm going to find the fun side of the topic. For instance, I find ancient Egyptians infinitely more interesting than the merits of taking vitamins. So I'll learn what they did to stay healthy. Did you know that they knew how to get and use antibiotics and vitamin B12? Or better yet, that they used lettuce and blue lotus to make sex potions. That often leads to discoveries that you and your readers both will enjoy. The next step is one of the most overlooked writing methods, and also one of the most important. This next step is to stop everything that you're doing and incubate. If you just jump right into it, your subconscious hasn't had the time to digest the material. Also, your conscious mind needs to take a break from the topic. For some writers, this sort of break should take place every 30 minutes or so. For some, it's an hour. For others, more. Whatever the case, you need to find your sweet spot. Once you finish researching, do something completely unrelated and give your eyes a break from the computer screen. Smoke your pipe, do the dishes, pump out some push-ups, anything to take you away from the screen. Alright, so the next thing that you need to do is develop your structure. What problems are you solving? What is the purpose of the writing? What's your usual outline? If you don't use a preliminary outline, it's time to start. This is how you map your thoughts into a format that your brain can easily navigate. Without an outline or a map, your thoughts may not flow as effortlessly as they could. And now finally you can write free of the mythical writer's block. If your eyes get blurry, dim your monitor and take a break. If you lose motivation, conjure a source of motivation that will keep you going. Some people are driven by family, others by hobbies, still others by beer waiting at home in the fridge. My father-in-law carries around a picture of the next toy he wants to buy and shows it off to people whenever he gets the chance. It may work well for you to simply think of the thing that keeps you going. Or you may prefer to have a picture you could pull up to visualize what it is that motivates you. My last thoughts are about momentum and fat fingers. If you're a good typist and you start making loads of mistakes, don't stop every few seconds to edit your typos. You're making mistakes because you need a break. 5 or 10 minutes will probably do it. The same goes for a loss of momentum. But what's even better is not losing the momentum to begin with. How do you do that? Keep your thoughts moving forward in a positive manner. Your mind is the most important element in the writing process. If your thoughts drift off of your writing, or worse yet, into a negative or pessimistic thought pattern, you'll lose momentum quickly. So constantly gauge your thoughts and filter out anything that can cause you to lose your momentum. And that's all I have for you today. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe and leave a comment below.